Blog Talk Radio.
I have no idea what the blazes just happened. I'm really sorry about the technical difficulties. Obviously, Blog Talk doesn't want us, and we're going to have to start looking into an alternative method of streaming the show. I don't know what we're going to have to do, but we'll figure something out as soon as I get the proper computer, and that's in the process. But anyway, back to what I was saying about, and I don't even know how much you guys heard me saying. I was saying that I don't know where this brother got the information that I am AB blood type. I am an O blood type, but I don't see how that's relevant. My son is not an O anymore. He lost his O because I got with his father, who was an A, because I didn't know the science of type. And when you take an O and combine it with something else, the O is lost and the person becomes whatever the other type is. But to me, there are those that know what their blood type is. There are those that don't know and may never know, because a lot of doctors don't do it anymore. They'll tell you, oh, we don't do blood typing. It's like, you're taking a string of blood from me, running a slew of tests. You can't tell me what my blood type is. Oh, no, we don't do that. But I guarantee you, if I was O negative, that's something that you know, because you want more and more and more blood from me if I were O negative. But if I'm an O and I'm his mother, or his father is an O, just because, like let's say if I were an A and his dad were an O, or if I'm an O and his dad is an A, to me you are what your parents are. But more than that, you are what your mother is. And I'm going to break it down scientifically, like my sister, Lady Ma'at, is always saying. You guys always hear me talk about my C-Star. C-Star Lady Ma'at is like, she was at work one day, and she was talking to a sister, and a European, whatever a so-called Jew is supposed to be, approached the conversation, and they were discussing Obama, and somehow it came up about you being what your mother is, and she was saying it's just like the so-called Jews say. You're not a Jew unless your mother is one. You know, like in the case of Obama. His mom is a Jew, therefore he's a Jew. And this so-called Jewish cat said, no, he's not. That's not always true, and that's not always the case. It's interesting how things are what people want them to be. The rules apply until it becomes not convenient for you. When it's not convenient for you, then the rules don't apply. And she said, yeah, he is. I'm going to break it down to you scientifically. And this is her science, and it'll make a lot of sense to anybody listening. You are your mother before you ever become your father. Your mother, you're with her for 9 months, not to mention the fact that your mother, the matriarch, is your maternity or your maternal, your matter. Your father, the patriarch, is your paternity or your pattern, your pattern. So your mother is your matter, material, and your father is your pattern. Maternity, matter, material. Paternity, patriarch, pattern. So you are material before you ever become a pattern. You are cotton before your ass is ever made into a shirt. You are silk material before you ever become a pair of pants. So if your mother is the material of maternity, your father is the pattern of paternity, you are your mother before you become your father. And that's going to stop all these people that are arguing so much about who came first, the mother or the father. I'm not trying to hear it. I don't really care. So that's that. Another thing I can use to give you an example, too. For a lot of people that say, you're not American unless you have this type of blood, and you're not American unless you still have your copper coloring. A lot of people that are American, meaning you are from the copper-colored races that the Europeans found here, a lot of these individuals still have their copper coloring. Then you have a lot of them that have lost their copper coloring and are passing for what you call white. Now, that doesn't mean that they're no longer American, just like it doesn't mean that all of the people that come to the United States and naturalize or whatever the case may be and become U.S. citizens can now declare that they are Americans because they're in America or they were born in America or there's so many generations American. And a lot of people are going to disagree, but I'm going to give it to you this way so that you can follow it. Now, keep up with this science if you can. If I am what you call a military brat, and my great-great-grandmother married a military brother in the United States, and they got posted in China, and my great-grandmother was born in China and hooked up with a military American and they were in China. And my grandmother was born in China, and she hooked up with a military brother, and they stayed in China. And my mother was born in China and hooked up with a military brother in China and stayed in China. And then I am born in China. 4 or 5 generations of niggas born in China don't make my ass Chinese. That makes me a nigga in China. I'm just born in China. I may be able to say that I am a Chinese national, a subject of the country of China, a Chinese citizen, but that does not make me Chinese because I was born in China and my mother was born in China and my grandmother was born in China and my great-grandmother was born in China because my great-great-grandmother got stationed there with her husband from the United States in China. Being born there does not in any way, shape, or fashion make me Chinese all of a sudden. I hope everybody can follow that logic. You know, it's just that simple. And if you can't keep up, because there are a lot of people that are going to tell you, I'm American because I was born in America. I'm 5 generations American. I'm 10 generations American. If you keep marrying your own people, you're still whatever your people were. You're just in America. Now, that does make you a U.S. citizen or even a U.S. national, but that doesn't necessarily make you an American. But I'm still okay with it. I'm not beating nobody up. You can call yourself what you want to call yourself because, again, you are who you say you are. If you say you're an American, you are. If you say you're not, you're not. If you say you're Egyptian or African or anything else, you are what you think and what you say you are, and it's not for me to tell you different, albeit you're going to run into Europeans with guns, badges, and black robes on that are going to tell you otherwise. Now, we're going to probably try to see if we can make up for some of this lost time in today's show. For individuals who this is the first time you are listening to this show, and I can't stress this enough because we're in the spirituality now. We did some historical stuff, and I was going to go into law and do spirituality last like I always do, but the ancestors were like, no, we'll run out of time. We don't have time for that. These niggas need spirituality. Give them the spiritual stuff first. If time left over after that, then you can give them some legal stuff. However, if they master the spiritual stuff, that will, bowl over all the legal stuff. Now, if you haven't listened to anything else before and today is the first time you've ever heard me speak, I highly recommend that you do one of 2 things. Either log off the show entirely, go on the YouTube and log on there and go and watch what they have posted up there with Yaffa Bay called Piercing the Fog, which is the wrong name of the video, but that's what it's called on YouTube. Watch Piercing the Fog first, then watch Surviving the Fall of Rome second. After you've caught up on the YouTubes, then go and catch up on the Blog Talk shows for the American Empire Restored. The first show aired on January the 27th of 2011, and I did a show every single Thursday up through April the 7th of 2011. After April the 7th, we did every other Thursday, except we were not able to get online on May 19th. We had technical difficulties, just like we got kicked offline today, having technical difficulties. So, you don't have to tell me twice. I already get it. I can take a hint. Now, for those individuals that don't want to catch up, then you can listen to the spiritual stuff, but don't do anything. Because if you don't listen to me in order and do what I'm giving you in the order that I give it, you're going to take something out of context, you're going to do something wrong, you're going to misinterpret something, or you're going to do like most people do, even those that are caught up. You're going to become emotional because of something that I say that you don't follow, that you don't like, that insults you or pisses you off or gets you aggravated, angry, or agitated, and then you're going to become reactionary and start reacting where I'm concerned. So I highly recommend that you get clear on what I'm saying. And I'm going to say this again. You never have to accept everything anyone says. You should be able to hear everyone out. When you've heard everything they have to say, you use what's usable with what they said to you, and you discard the rest. But if you get emotional and reactionary and then start turning off power buttons and hitting stop buttons, well, you might miss something that may be of major value to you that you can use. It is not a requirement that you agree with everything that anybody says, but it is best if everybody can learn to hear people out and let them say what they have to say and go, well, I can follow you up to this point, but here you lost me. But I'm cool with the rest, but I'm not feeling this. But there are so many people that go, wait a minute, sister, hold up, I got to stop right there. Like, wait a minute, I'm trying to get you from A to D. in order for me to tell you what I'm going to tell you at D, the point I'm trying to make is the point at D. But I'm trying to give you A, B, C to give you D. A lot of people will stop me at A or stop me at B, and we wind up in this long, drawn-out debate, discussion, argument, or whatever the case it is, and we never get to D, and I wind up losing what you would call friends or whatever the case may be because they couldn't even be quiet long enough to let me finish where I was going, which I am good at listening to people when they finish, even though people say, well, you just cut me off. It's like, well, I thought you were finished. You know what I mean? You know, but there are people that will tell you. They can talk and talk and talk and talk, and Yaffa will be there. People think I talk a lot. I don't get to talk that much. I talk a lot on my show because I have the floor. When I'm on the phone with people, 90% of the time, the person I'm talking to is doing all the talking, and if I'm lucky, I'll get a word in edgewise here and there. Now, let's get into, the second thing I think I told you. Either follow everything in the order that I give it or listen to everything and don't do anything because too many people got the spiritual information and either didn't hear everything in order or didn't do everything in order. And the order is get clear on the words and concepts first. Second, get some insight on who's running what, who you are, who they are, and what some of the history is, and become very clear on the fact that you are inferior to no one and no one is superior to you, and I'm explaining to you why. And that's what you're going to get caught on. Once you get over the inferiority complex, which you will get over it if you're able to hear me out, then you can start doing the most important thing in spirituality. You have to do, I don't want to use their thing, but you got to do CBS. Clean, build, shield. Clean your energy field by taking a crystal bath in salt. If you are hypertensive and you have high blood pressure or you have a problem with salt, then you can take a genuine quartz crystal bath, but you must clean your quartz first, and you need to clean it after you're done before you use it again. You don't have to clean it right away after you're done, but you definitely need to clean it before you use it again because the crystal is going to pull energy out of your energy field that is not supposed to be there. That's why I wanted people to take the salt bath first. After you get things out of your energy field, then you do the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, si to increase the spin of your chakra wheels, which are called energy vortexes that are spinning, spiraling vortexes for energy. Doing these sounds speeds up the spin of your energy centers or vortexes that people call chakras. And I don't want anyone to speed up the spin of their chakras with a bunch of muck and guck inside of your energy field, which some people call an aura, that's not supposed to be there. Take the salt bath, get the stuff out of your energy field, and then spin your wheels to amplify the frequency at which you are vibrating without bringing and drawing unnecessary pollution into the energy centers. And after you build up your energy, then you shield your energy with the purple egg of protection. For people that have a problem with purple, you can use other colors. There's a reason why I give purple, but you have to follow the science that works for you. Do you understand? Now, the reason I do the purple is it grabs the red from the root chakra and the blue from the upper chakras, and then it combines them together. When you blend blue and red, you get purple. When you unify the top with the bottom, that is the cloak that protects you. All the other centers in between, you will have the rainbow effect because they radiate or vibrate at the colors of the so-called rainbow and at the colors of the vitality molecules that I said you get when you go out in the sunlight in the morning. Now, there is a brother, and because we had the show so screwed up, I don't even know if I'm going to get to bring him on. I wanted to bring the brother on because of the massive amount of success that he has had just doing this stuff. And I said, brother, either you are just so highly advanced in this incarnation or you've been practicing for a long time. And he said, Yaffa, I wasn't practicing anything before your show. He said the best I was doing was a little bit of meditation. And I wasn't even clear what that was about, just sitting there, and it's like, you know, until you explained what it is I'm supposed to be getting out of this meditation, then I got it. He said, but I've heard a bunch of people out there, and I'm not feeling what they're talking about. I'm not rolling with it, even though I've heard